So now let's have a look at space management. So in the space and direct room management section of the portal, the first thing that you can see is that we have a list here of all the spaces and direct rooms in the environment. Each space and direct room automatically comes with a certain amount of metadata. So you've got the title of the space or direct room, you've got the type, so whether it's a space or a direct room. Here you can see that they're all spaces. You've got the room scope, so whether there are external members in the space or whether it's just internal. You've got the tags which you can add to spaces. The tags are tags which you can add with sphere shields. These are good for being able to search spaces and also being able to set retention policies. Then there's the state, so whether the spaces are active or blocked, the last activity time, retention policy type, so we'll see that there are different ways of setting retention policies. You can use the policy engine, or you can manually set the retention policy. You can see the retention period and whether it's the units are in minutes or days. On the right hand side, you can open up each space and see some extra information about the space. So you can see who is it created by, whether it has a moderator, what the classification is. Classification here refers to Webex classification. As you know, in Webex you're able to classify spaces. Here this space does not have a classification. Retention policy name, retention updated, etc. So that's some extra data that you can see. There's also the room members that you can see. So for example, I've opened up this space and I can see there are 3 members. I'm able to remove members. I'm also able to add members. I can even add members as a moderator. I would just put the email in here and then choose whether to add them as a moderator or not. If I were to select a space, I also have some options up here. I can export the content of a space. I can delete spaces, block and unblock. So block is like archiving the space. It means all further communication is blocked, but the content is still there. Unblock would mean to allow communication to carry on. I can add tags to spaces, and I can choose whether to set retention by engine or set retention manually. If I want to set retention manually, for example, I just click here, I put in the retention period, let's say 30, and I can choose days, minutes, hours, weeks, months, or years. I've also got the ability to search my spaces. So I have advanced search over here, and I've got many different parameters with which I can search through my spaces. So for example, title, type, whether it's a space or a direct room, the room scope. Maybe I want to search for spaces which have external members in them, so I can see all that communication. I can search rooms based on last activity time, and whether they're active or blocked. I can search based on tags. As mentioned before, it's a very good way of using tags so that you can search all rooms with a certain tag. I can search based on classification. Again, this is the Webex classification that you can do natively with Webex. I can search based on retention policy type, maybe every space that has a retention policy, or maybe every space that has a manual retention policy or a automatic retention policy used with the engine. And I've got more parameters here, such as Active Directory groups. Maybe I want to search my spaces based on how many, based on who the Active Directory groups are. Maybe I want to search spaces that have more than a specific amount of users or less than a specific amount of users. So again, many different parameters that I can search my spaces with.